The beginning of 2024 has not been kind for me, nor the box office. Listen, the pipeline from comic book fan to weeb by day and book fiend by night is crazy, but at the very least the path is certain. Crapping on my favorite franchises just break my spirit, but I have a couple fun things planned and I think you guys are gonna love it. But in the meantime, we're reviewing Blue-Eye Samurai. Oh, greetings and salutations. Sorry, just doing a little bit of light reading. Today we're talking about Netflix's Blue-Eyed Samurai, which is a French-American anime created by people like Michael Green alongside his wife Amber Nozumi. Michael Green is also the same person that helped in projects like Logan and also Blade Runner 2049. The guy's got a pretty good track record, and I can't continue to review the show honestly without mentioning the fact that this concept does start out as a Japanese Mulan retelling. Yes, that does warrant a couple eye rolls considering the last adaptations we had, but this show does not make the same mistakes. For one, lock your kids in the bedroom. This is not for the whole family, because this show is an absolute bloodbath. The violence and the nudity that takes place in the show does not overshadow the plot, but there is a lot of it. I was amazed through to the very end of the show by just the direction of the story and the choreography of the sequences alone. You want revenge? You got it. Feeling like getting a helping of betrayal? Grab a plate. Need some complicated romances? No worries. Because the show is set in a time of closed borders during Japan's economic growth, there was hardly any other race of people that was just walking around. So oftentimes peculiarities and anything deviating from a set cultural look or path was seen as shameful or needing to be expunged. The money was flowing, male genitalia was growing, and the girls were painting their teeth black. But in all actuality, no one can truly resist a white man, especially when they come with money. Snowfall taught me that one. And at the center of it all, Mizu is our blue-eyed samurai who's plagued with the ideas of executing revenge against those who have caused her to become an outcast and also orphaned among her own people. And the skills Mizu displays in the show is so satisfying. First off, the insane amount of oversight that this show had, and you can definitely feel it bleed through each and every single episode as you traverse through this oil painting-esque animation. It is amazing, and it pays the hell off. At first glance, I didn't know how that was gonna go for me. I'm the kind of person that's deterred based off of the animation of a show alone. Every sequence is led with purpose, and that's why I can freaking applaud this production team for pampering and purifying this thing to a friggin' T. Especially when you have a main character who's focused only on their own desires, and that could potentially be all there is to your story. There's a lot of moving pieces within the characters we're presented. There's moves being made, there's plots and betrayals being forged. Some of my favorite characters are largely given to the side characters in the show, and not to say that Mizu isn't really good. They're very flawed, in fact, and have different traits and attributes that make them feel very human. This show is not all doom and gloom and bloodshed, even though that's the vast majority of it. There is also some light, some fun, and a couple sequences you're going to enjoy at the end of the day that don't necessarily include death. I personally love the Sword's father. He goes way beyond your average typical fortune cookie wisdom and is literally just a blind man trying to make swords and tap rocks. We also have Seki, who acts as a parental figure for Akemi, who's part of this like royalist society and has to adjust to becoming more so involved in womanly roles and still maintain being in a child's place. I was worried about how things were going to play out because it started to toe a certain line, but with the Kemi storyline and everything else that the show deals with, it keeps up the intrigue and also knows how to twist and mold archetypes as well as tropes. I will say though, I don't love Taigen. To me, he didn't serve too much of a role other than the arrogance of wanting to be the best samurai and then proceeding to be schooled in samurai skills and then going on to be a potential plot point, which adds a little more intrigue to an already interesting storyline that we have. Ringo is another one of my favorite characters. He's just some lovable himbo, just tagging along on the protagonist's journey, and he's not really sure what he wants to be good at, or he's not really sure what he is good at, but he's willing to try. And honestly, those of us with hands don't even know what we want to do at the end of the day. And that's fine. That's okay. We'll all figure it out eventually. Right? And while he might not be the brightest tool in the crayon box, he is also not blind to the issues of the main protagonist. Out of all the characters, Mizu is not one for many words, but slowly but surely as each episode progresses, you are grasping more details of her own story. And it gets wild. By the end of episode 1, you figure out that she's a woman masquerading as a man, which you probably would have already figured out if you looked up the details for the episodes and figured out that the actress that plays her is in fact a woman, which I had an inkling of something going on, but I was still surprised nonetheless because I didn't know where the show was gonna go, and I literally just dived into it head first. But don't worry, she's not all powerful. She does get nerfed. She has like 1 HP of health, but at the same time, as the girl is getting curb stomped, she's getting stabbed, she is getting crushed to death, nearly. But in the words of the Sword Father, with much paraphrasing because it's been a while since I've seen the show, strongest blade is the one that can take a beating and continue their journey through refinement. And if we can use the same analogy, nearly every single character takes a beating and has their level of payoff when it comes to coming back as the strongest blade. And definitely there's room for growth as they continue down their journey. Which leads me to one gripe that I have towards the end of the show relating to Mizu's path. It makes all this setup and drive towards this one path, and we receive certain details and information that continues that plot even further. But with Mizu's character, I feel like we took 10 steps forward. It went to, never mind, we never actually left the house, because who wants to go anywhere in this economy? Because you come to understand why Mizu is the way she is, her frustration and the realization that her revenge is the only thing she has left pushing her. And there's a conversation between Mizu and the Sword's Father where she convinces herself that she is the monster that everyone says she is. There's no other way around it, and that's all that she has left. Which is in reference to her split heritage, her blue eyes, her fighting skills, and the ever-fueled rage of the men who have made her life a living hell. And the Sword's Father's reply is to the effect of, there may always be a demon in you, but that's not all there has to be. Blue-Eyed Samurai holds a lot of themes such as purpose, renewal, honor, resilience, and ambition through carnage and epic storytelling. We are dealt the cards that we're given, but we must work with what we got and use them to our advantage to progress further in our own lives. It's a good TV show. Pretty good. Did you watch Blue-Eyed Samurai? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment down below along with your theories and inquiries, and I'll respond to them as soon as possible. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, and if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe. But anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Toodles! Bye.